Hello students, this is Nirmalendu Nirmal. So we are going to continue the same chapter, physical quantities and measurement, and it is the part 11 of the of the chapter. One or two more sessions will be required for finishing this chapter. In maximum two sessions, okay, one or two sessions will be there and this chapter will be over. So I hope that all of you are studying well. Now let's continue. Today's topic is measuring time. We'll talk about the measuring time, that how to measure and what are the instruments to measure the time. So at first we'll talk about the time. What is time? Okay, measuring time. About this we'll study. Actually, what is time? Actually, time is the interval between the two events. Time is the interval between two events. All of you know. Then time is the interval between two events. Like this, any event has happened now, and right now any event has happened, and after some time any event. So whatever gap between is there no of the events, okay, of both the events, that gap is known as the time. That interval is known as the time. So time is an essential part of our lives. All our activities, daily activities like getting up in the morning, coming to a school, attending classes, watching televisions, etc., are time bound. Everything are time bound. Means we do the everything in the limited with the foundation of the time. Like if we go to a school, then there is the time foundation. Okay, if we leave the school, there is the time foundation. Watch the television, the time foundation is the everything. Okay, so it is an essential part of our life. Therefore, accurate measure of the time is necessary for us, since a lot of things, means maximum things, are time bound in our life. Everything is time bound in our life. So we will need for the accurate measurement of time. Okay, it is very necessary for us. What? Accurate measurement of the time. So time may be defined as the interval between two events. Just now I have said that what is time. If anybody will ask that what is time, then we can say that the interval between two events is known as what? Time. The various units used for measuring time are seconds, hours, minute, mean solar, year. Means these are the units of the time. These are the units of time. So every physical quantity has the units, we know that. So time has also the units. Okay, time has also the units. So these are the units: second, hour, minute, mean solar, year. These are the units. And if we'll talk about the SI unit, then second is the SI unit of time. Second is the SI unit of time. Let me write. It is the SI unit of time. I hope that you understood here. So some relation between the different units have been given. Okay, like one solar day means 24 hours. 24 hours, we know that one means day contains 24 hours. So here the solar day is saying, means now sun has arose here in the morning. Again tomorrow in the morning sun will arose. Then the gap between the what this what sunrise is of 24 hours. That's why it is saying the solar day. Okay, solar day. So one solar day is equal to 24 hours. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. All of us know, and it can be written in the short form also. Hour is represented with the small h, and minute in a small min. So like this, many relations have been given here. Okay, you can learn these things. Like 1 decade, 10 years, the time of 10 years, okay, interval of 10 years is known as 1 decade. What? Decade. Like we say no century. What is the meaning of century? Actually, century means 100. So 100 years, 10 decades. Say it is saying that 10 decades, it means 100 years. Okay, 10 decades, and 1 decade means 10 years. It means what? How many years? 10 into 10, 100 years. Not understood? One, let me write. 1 century is equal to 10 decades. It is saying that 10 decades, sorry, on the screen I'm writing, that's why the writing is bad. 10 decades, and 1 decade contains what? 10 years. 10 decades, and 1 year means 10 years. 1 decade means 10 years. So 10 decades means how many years? 10 into 10. 1 decade means 10 years. So 10 decades means what? 10 into 10 years. It means 100 years. So we have understood that 1 century is equal to 100 years. In the terms of decade, if we will say, then 10 decades. So these are the what? These are the some basic relationship between the different units of time. Okay, 1 millennium is equal to 10 centuries. 10 centuries are known as 1 millennium. 10 century means what? 100 means 1 century means 100 years. 1 century means 100 years. So 10 century means what? 10 century means 10 into 100. 10 into 100. 100 years. Okay, so 100 years will be, it means 1000 years. 10 into 100 means 1000 years. So we can say that, okay, here that 1 millennium is equal to 10 century, and 10 century means what? 1000 years. So 1 millennium is equal to 1000 years. So like this we can relate. Okay, we can relate the different units of the time. Here the mean solar day means the time taken by the earth to complete one rotation. Mean solar day. What is the meaning of mean solar day? We know that the sun, what? The earth rotates about the sun, around the sun. This is the sun, and this is the earth. It's rotate. Sorry, and rotate. I'm saying sorry. It's just no, time taken by the earth to rotate. Yeah, complete one rotation. Yeah, we know that this is the earth and it's rotate on its axis. So when to complete one rotation, okay, to complete one rotation, whatever the time is taken by the earth, that is known as the mean solar day, and that is 24 hours. Okay, it takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. I hope that you understood. Some smaller units are also there, like 1 microsecond, 10 to the power minus 6 second, 1 nanosecond, 10 to the power minus 9 second. So these are the actually micro, nano, these are the actually what? Prefixes in the previous, in this chapter only we have learnt. Macro means what? 10 to the power minus 6. Nano, this is the prefix. It is used for 10 power minus 9. Okay. So prefix you will learn if you have not learned. In earlier times, people used to measure. Okay, in earlier time, this type of thing was not there, like clock, etc., digital watch, analog watch. These things were not there. So earlier, the people used to measure the time in the different manner, in the different ways. So we'll learn now. In the earlier times, people used to measure time with the help of natural events. With the help of natural events which occur at the regular intervals. Means the people used to take the help of the natural events which occurs at the regular interval, which repeats after the certain time of period. Okay, with the means after certain interval, after certain time, which is being repeated. With those natural events, the people used to measure the time, like day and night. Okay, people had also developed various devices based on natural periodic events, and on the based on natural periodic events means periodic means which repeats, periodic means which repeats. So natural repeating events, we can say periodic means repeating, natural repeating events. On the basis of that, the people developed many devices to measure the time. Okay, and some such devices are sundial, candle clock, sand clock. These are the some what devices which have been developed by the people on the basis of the natural events. What is sundial, what is candle clock, what is sand clock, we'll know, and how does it work, that also we'll know now. So at first, instruments for measuring the time. There are various instruments for measuring time. We know that various instruments are there. Just now we have understood that these instruments were being used much earlier. Nowadays clocks and watches are there. Okay, so at first we will talk about the pendulum clock. At first we will talk about the pendulum clock. You will stop the video and you read these things. Okay, I just explain this. Actually, pendulum clock is there. It is you must have seen that this is the clock. Okay, and this thing is just hanging, and it swings in the to and fro motion like this, in the to and fro motion, it just swings, and this thing is known as pendulum. This is pendulum. So pendulum is fixed in this clock, that's why it is known as pendulum clock. And how does it work? Actually, when it moves, it take 2 seconds to complete one to and fro. The time taken by the pendulum to go from one extreme to the other equal to 1 second. Okay, when it start from here and it goes there, then it takes 1 second. So but the pendulum is here right now, and it will come up to the extreme position, then it will take 1 second. Again it will go back to its original position here, then 1 second. It means to complete 1 to and fro motion. Okay, to and fro means backward, forward. Okay, so it has gone forward direction, again it has come back, so total time it has taken 2 seconds. It means to complete 1 to and fro motion, it takes 2 seconds. Okay, that only it is saying that it completes 1 to and fro motion in 2 seconds. The dial, this is the dial. Actually, what is known as dial? The dial is the part of the clock in which the two what parts of the clock is fitted. Like this, you can see in this needles are there, and more machinery parts are fitted in that part is known as the dial. Okay, in the dial only everything which are very important parts of the clock are fitted in that. This is the dial. If I'll say, let me show you. No, in this it is not there. I'll show you in the next class. So pendulum clock we understood this, and to complete 1 to and fro motion it takes 2 seconds. Okay, the dial of the clock consists 12 big markings. So dial consists 12 big markings. You must have seen, this is the clock, then here 12, 1 2 3 4, like this, 1 2 3 4, and it goes to, it means it has been divided into 12 equal parts. Into 12 equal parts. 12, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, like this the clock is there. And every part, okay, 12 parts, the clock whole is divided into the 12 parts, and every part has been divided into 5 sections. Okay, 5 5 5, like this, every part has been divided into 5 sections. It means the whole thing has been divided into how many parts? Small parts, 60 parts. 12, and every 12 parts into 5 parts. It means 12 into 5, how many parts? 60 parts. So it has been divided into 60 parts. Here you can see the dial of the clock consists of 12 big markings, either number or bold marks. Sometimes it is written number on that, and sometimes only marking is there for representing the partition or parts. Okay, so the dial consists of 12 big marking, either numbers or bold marks, which present the hours, and all those bigger 12, 1 2 3, these represent the hours. If the hand of the clock moves from here to here, okay, the hour hand, then we will say that yes, 1 hour has been completed. Okay, about the hour minute hand we will know after some time. So these represent the hour. Okay, and these markings are further divided into 5 smaller parts. All the 12 parts have been divided into 5 smaller divisions. It means it gives the total 60 small divisions. Okay, 12 and all the 12 into 5, it means 12 into 5, 60 small divisions. If you have you must have seen in your house. Okay, you can see right now also, you just see, then you will understand better. These smaller divisions indicate the minutes. These smaller divisions, all the 60 divisions, are known as the minutes. Okay, there are 3 needles, namely hour arm, minute arm, and second arm. Okay, in the place of arm sometimes it is used hand. Okay, hour hand, minute hand, second hand, like this. Or we can use arm also. Hour arm, minute arm, and second arm, which are attached to the center of the dial. Suppose this is the dial, and marking is there 12, 6, 3, 9, like this. And in the center, those needles are set. Okay, with the help of the gear wheel, which allows the needles to move. So there are three types of needles. Like one, you will see that very smallest in the length, and one is a little bit bigger and means longer, not bigger, and one the longest. So these three types of needles we can see. Actually the smallest one is for the hour. This is the hour hand or hour arm also we can say, and the middle one which is the neither biggest nor smallest, that hand is the for the minute. It is the minute hand. And the longest, this is the longest is for the second. So it is the second arm, okay, which represent the second in the timing. Okay, so we have understood, and these are attached to the center of the dial with the help of the gear wheel. Our arm, minute arm and second arm, understood this. As the pendulum of the clock moves to and fro, okay, to the other, the second arm moves ahead. When the pendulum moves like this, then it, because of this movement, the second hand of the clock also moves. Okay, second hand of the clock also moves. Okay, in the small divisions, how the moves second arm, second arms moves ahead by one small division, like this. A small division is there, so like this it moves. Okay, now once the second arms complete the 60 divisions, that is moves one full round. When the second arm, this is the clock, and it starts from here, second arm, and one by one it moves in every small divisions. So it will take 60, okay, it will move 60 times to complete one round. Okay, because 60 divisions are there, small divisions are there, so it will take 60 moves to complete a round. And when it completes a round, okay, when it completes a round, then we say that yeah, it has now the timing. Okay, when it completes one round, second arm when completes one round, then the time interval for that round is known as 1 minute. Okay, that is known as 1 minute. And minute's hand moves to the next small division. When that second arm completes one round, then minute hand moves one small division, means it completes 1 minute. Okay, that's why minute hand moves towards, means ahead, one small division. So like this, they are means they are just moving, and when it completes one, when the second arm completes one round, then the minute hand moves one small division. Again it completes one round, then again minute minute hand complete one or moves one division. Like this it moves one by one, and it also complete one round. When it completes one round, then we say that 1 hour has been completed. And when minute hand completes one round, then our hand, okay, our arm moves one what part, means like 12 to 1 to 2, like this. Then it is said that 1 hour is completed. I hope that you understood. Let me explain again that once the second arm completes 60 divisions, small divisions, okay, that is moves to and fro, it moves one full round. When second arm moves one full round of the circular dial, then minute arm moves to the next small division. Then the minute arm moves to the next small division, and once the minute hand also goes one round, when minute arm also complete one round, then the hour hand reaches the next big marking. Okay, next big marking, and indicates that one hour has gone past. Okay, when minute hand, let me repeat, when minute hand complete one round, okay, then the hour hand, suppose that our hand was at 3, then it will move to 4. It will go to the next big marking. Okay, for the hour big marking are there 1 2 3 4, like this. So when the minute hand completes one round, then the hour hand moves towards the next big marking, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, like this. And it says that 1 hour has passed. Okay, so now today this much only. In the next session we will continue. So I hope that all of you are studying well. So just keep on revising the taught chapters, okay, and keep on practicing by writing for your betterment. So all of you, till that time, bye, have a nice day.